Okay, so I just wanted to record this a little bit post after the fact. This is after I finished the game because I forgot to do an update in like what's the final episode essentially about my Pokemon Go update. So we are doing this, and I'm putting this at the beginning of the end of the game episode essentially. Blah blah blah, whatever that is. So on Sunday, I managed to catch Mega Sceptile, Mega Blaziken, Mega Swampert, and then by myself I got Mega Scizor. Then going out again with my brother, I also managed to get Mega Absol and Mega Tyranitar. Then I came back and recorded episode 12. Then I went back out and managed to capture a Mega Metagross, Mega Salamence, Mega Latios, and then a couple copies of Yveltal and Xerneas each, and then actually managed to do one of the Super Mega Raids and managed to get a Dragonite that's nearly perfect, and had enough candies to Mega Evolve it. So it actually was a very productive and very amazing day. Between doing all that and getting to finish Resident Evil Requiem in this sit-down that I did, it was amazing. Blop. That's going in last episode. Anyways, so... Alright, we are here for what's essentially the finale of Resident Evil Requiem. I know we kind of finished up the game in the last one and looked at a lot of the concept stuff in that last one, but Grace's report seemed really, like, long and in-depth, and I really want to talk about my thoughts of the game. Again, I should have made what I talked about in the last episode, the sort of rambling and raving about Resident Evil Requiem. I should have done that. Also, the idea of calling that series Rambling and Raving, or I had another name for if I hated it. I think I was going to call it, like, Rambling and Ranting. Yeah, Rambling and Ranting, Rambling and Raving, depending on if I liked it or didn't. That had nothing to do with the fact that I was doing it for Resident Evil, because one of my goals this upcoming week is, because Scream 7 also came out a few, like, 2 days ago, and I do want to go see that. I've recently become a Scream fan. I watched the two with Jenna Ortega in them a while ago because they had Jenna Ortega in them, but I finally gone back and watched, like, the first three, and I really, really like those movies, and with 7 being out, I really want to go watch it, and then I also want to make a rambling and ranting or rambling and raving about on it, because, you know, I would like to do something timely for once in my life, and I never have done that before. So I had that theory, and I had that series in mind with both of these things. I didn't realize it'd quite work so well with rambling and ranting about Resident Evil Requiem. I didn't think that far ahead. I promise, I'm not that smart. But yeah, anyways, I should have saved a lot of thoughts for that video specifically, but it's fine. I'm just going to repeat myself. I'm good at doing that. But here we are going to be going through Grace's report, because I really want to read it, and I really want to give it, like, the time of day to do it. So this is also being recorded after the last episode on the same night. It's pretty late my time. It's almost 12. It's 11:55 p.m. I also have to wake up at, like, a really early tomorrow to take my dog to the vet because she has a dentist appointment. So I need to wake up really early to do that. But I'm here. Today is sort of the end, like right here, right now is sort of the end of Resident Evil Requiem weekend, you know. Again, tomorrow I'm going back on, like, my diet super hard. I'm having so many responsibilities throughout the week. So I'm really just trying to, like, finish up this weekend strong and good and really seeing as much of this game as I possibly physically can before I have to go back to being an adult for a little while. So this is kind of like my little treat to myself, again. So we're just going to try and finish up Grace's report in this episode, because, again, it's like a 60-page long slide, but at the same time, it looks like a lot of these things are not very, very long, you know? But yeah, let me take a sip of my water, and then we can go ahead and get on into this. Grace's report, the truth behind Raccoon City. Introduction. In 1998, Raccoon City was devastated by a massive outbreak caused by a viral leak from the pharmaceutical giant Umbrella. The United States government responded by launching a missile strike to wipe out the infected and erected a blockade to seal off the city. In 2004, following a court trial, Umbrella Corporation declared bankruptcy. A complete account of the events was never released. However, in October 2026, it was discovered that the city had been used as a hub for the production and trafficking of bioweapons. This report reveals that the established narrative of the Raccoon City incident was falsified and elucidates newly discovered truths surrounding the incident. 1968. To properly understand the truth, we must first go back to the beginning of it all. In 1968, Oswald E. Spencer, James Marcus, and Edward Ashford founded the Umbrella Corporation. That's too similar to Ashcroft. Having witnessed the horrors of the Second World War and the dread of the Cold War, Spencer felt a sense of despair as watching the world repeat the same mistakes. He felt it was his duty to bring about a change to humanity. As stated in court records following the Raccoon City incident, his ultimate goal was to bring about the viral evolution of the human race. Thus, he relentlessly pursued virus research Thus, he relentlessly pursued virus research through illegal and inhumane means. This fact remains unchanged. 1970s. From the very beginning of Umbrella, the company faced rapid change and intense internal strife, most notably the sharp ideological divide between Marcus and Spencer. According to court records, this conflict was cited as the primary factor leading to the unusual development which followed. In 1978, James Marcus developed the T virus, which would go on to become the cause of the subsequent outbreak. 1980s. This is a crucial period for understanding the basis of what caused the incident and the truth behind the entire case. Spencer's influence and ARC's establishment. Is this going to go into, like, Miranda and, like, all of, like, their time together? That kind of deal? Because I don't really know how they know about it unless they, like, talk to Chris specifically, who found that information out. Granted, that's also a very possible thing that they could do, you know? I don't see why they couldn't. Spencer used internal politics to have Marcus demoted, absorbing T-virus research into a facility under his own control. From then on, Umbrella began to actively research and develop bioweapons under Spencer's leadership. The underground facility known as ARC, which was discovered during recent events, originally served as the administrative center of Umbrella's research. Several documents outlining Spencer's plans for ARC have also been discovered. Except for excerpt from the confiscated records. Long-term strategic review, 1980 0_40. Long-term strategic review, 1980 04 2022. Or just 0222. 1980 04 22. ARC-centric integrated research roadmap. Step 1, concentrated investment into Wesker's plan and the T-virus. Step 2, establishment of ARC as a central command center. Step 3, development of ELPIS. Step 4, memory transfer and forced evolution. This is the first recorded instance of a significant keyword, ELPIS. The connections involvement. The following documents regarding Marcus's involvement were also discovered. Excerpt from confiscated records. Receipt of donation, 1986-01-38. Recipient, James Marcus. Sender, F Foundation. Amount, $30 million. Was that for a liquor? Or was that for one of the... No, I think that was for one of the tyrants, right? This document shows a suspicious flow of funds being channeled to Marcus. Past FBI investigations revealed that the source of the funds, the F Foundation, was just one of the puppet organizations of the Connections. The F Foundation no longer exists. The Connections is a criminal organization that various government agencies have been sounding the alarm against for years. This illicit group is at the heart of all of this. Evidence suggests that the Connections sought involvement with Umbrella's central operations. Additional documents belonging to the protege of Marcus, Brandon Bailey, have been uncovered. Excerpt from confiscated records, Telegraph Log 1988-09-96. Sender, Brandon Bailey. Recipient, F Foundation. Preparations are complete. I think it's time they made contact with me directly, don't you? I await a response. This indicates that Bailey took over correspondence with the Connections succeeding Marcus. Bailey was rumored to be the founder of the Connections, but he may have only been a small cog in the larger machine. We now believe the Connections has had deep roots in the criminal underworld since before the 1980s. Much about the Connections remains unknown. Spencer's purge. In order for Spencer to obtain complete control over Umbrella, he used force to deal with any internal opposition and influential adversaries. A list of these individuals, seemingly prepared by an associate of Spencer's, was recently discovered. Excerpt from confiscated records. Reevaluation list. Following the CEO's reevaluation protocol, measures will be taken against these individuals. Cheryl Moore, Michael Kramer, James Marcus. Admitted. 1990s. During this period, Umbrella continued to grow and expand through ties with the government. The organization became so large that Spencer could no longer fully control it. Numerous accidents plague Umbrella's facilities around the world as a result of poor management. Furthermore, information was being leaked to rival organizations and the Connections due to moles who had infiltrated the company. Yet despite the circumstances, Spencer was able to thoroughly protect and complete his research at ARC, the research ELPIS. While most records regarding ELPIS were lost with the destruction of ARC, a precious few remain. Excerpt from confiscated records. Spencer message. 1990, data missing. Tricell, HCF, the family, and Umbrella, ELPIS shall bring it all to an end. Data corrupted. The only information leaked about ELPIS was that The only information leaked about Elpis was that it had the potential to upset the military balance of the entire world. However, a strictly managed password known only to Spencer was needed to access it. What is Elpis? Elpis is a powerful and antiviral drug. However, this was unknown to those who sought it. The Connections and the other black market groups mistakenly thought it to be a powerful bioweapon, with the potential to control human minds. This confusion likely stemmed from the fierce competition surrounding bioweapon development. It was common knowledge that Spencer, the developer of Elpis, aimed for the evolution and control of humanity through viral technology. Completion of Elpis. Based on data taken from the confiscated records and changes in Spencer's behavior, we believe Elpis was completed around the mid-1990s. After this period, the records show a marked decrease in the number of public statements from Spencer. A similar decrease in activity was also observed at the Raccoon City orphanage. Disturbingly, it is suspected that the children at the orphanage had long been used for umbrella experimentation. While Spencer frequently visited the orphanage, records indicate he stopped in the 1990s. Furthermore, the orphanage was under the research jurisdiction of William Birkin in the 1990s. Furthermore, the orphanage was under the research jurisdiction of William Birkin in the late 90s. Birkin turned against Spencer, ultimately leading to the leak of the T-virus. 1998, the Raccoon City incident. The T-virus leaked from the Umbrella Research Facility in Raccoon City, causing an unprecedented outbreak. In response, the government decided to launch a missile strike on the city under the pretense of containing the spread. However, this is where we have been misled. The missile strike was not launched to prevent the spread of the infection. A plan was formed to disrupt the relationships between the government and Umbrella and shift the blame for all illegal activities onto Spencer. Found records indicate the Connections lobbied for the missile strike. Excerpts from the confiscated records. Access log. First assembly minutes. ARC has been secured. Commence the missile strike. The blame will fall solely on Spencer. With this, Umbrella will be dismantled and will seize their assets. Their goal was the acquisition of Umbrella assets, particularly the thing they believed would disrupt the world's military balance, Elpis. Due to Bailey's involvement, the Connections were aware of Umbrella's inner workings prior to the Raccoon City incident. This set them up to swiftly secure ARC before instructing the government to carry out the missile strike. After the Raccoon City incident, the Umbrella trials. As it was well known, trials were held after the events of the Raccoon City incident. Testimony from Raccoon City survivors, along with the evidence submitted by the Global Pharmaceutical Consortium, demonstrated the scope of Umbrella's nefarious activities. Evidence against Spencer was presented at the trials by his subordinate, Albert Wesker. It is now evident that Wesker was linked to Tricell, which in turn had strong ties to the Connections. Therefore, it is highly likely there was pressure from the government and the Connections during the trials. In 2004, the outcome of the trials, Umbrella was forced into bankruptcy. Just as the Connections and the government intended, Oswald E. Spencer was held accountable as CEO and he disappeared from the public eye. Acquisition of ARC. The Connection and the government seized ARC during the Raccoon City incident. Thereafter, ARC served as a base for the research, development, and distribution of bioweapons. Documents believed to be transaction lists have also been seized. These lists Umbrella's Would you believe me if I was reading this better than I read most of my scripts? These list Umbrella's competitors, along with organizations that were previously found guilty of illegal activity. Unfortunately, most evidence was lost with the collapse of ARC. Recovery efforts continue, but success is unlikely. All right, here, time to take a chug. Time to take a chug. Oh, that was good. Proliferation of bioterrorism. Following the Raccoon City incident, weaponized viruses developed by Umbrella were leaked. Subsequently, instances of bioterrorism utilizing this technology spread around the globe. In 2013, President Adam Benford was assassinated in a bioterrorist attack. Intelligence agencies reported that in 2013, President Adam Benford was assassinated in a bioterrorist attack. Intelligence agencies report that the president wished to reveal the full truth of the Raccoon City incident. It is possible that President Benford was privy to the facts revealed in this report. Spencer's final years. Remaining records about Spencer after the dissolution of Umbrella are scarce, but a new source of information has recently come to light. An interview conducted by Alyssa Ashcroft. Despite being responsible for countless atrocities, Spencer showed some signs of remorse in this interview. Having lost everything, he sought atonement. While Elpis is a powerful instrument that can render viral weapons inert, it also has the potential as a panacea to be used for good. I don't know what that word is. It's possible that Spencer's true motivations behind Elpis were peace and redemption. While he remained obsessed with the evolution of humanity throughout his later years, most testimonies describe him as nothing but a senile old man. Spencer died in 2006 at his secluded estate. His true intentions behind developing Elpis will forever remain unknown. Conclusion. As we see from the records, the Umbrella Corporation's liquidation was intentionally orchestrated by the connections in the U.S. government. Furthermore, they were involved in the illegal development and trafficking of bioweapons in Raccoon City. The extent of which past and present governments were involved requires further investigation. Much about the connections remains shrouded in mystery, and most records of their involvement were destroyed alongside ARC. Countless lives have been lost. As government officials, we have a duty to pursue the truth. If anything, finding it will finally offer some closure to everyone who fell victim to these heinous actions. FBI intelligence analyst, Grace Ashcroft. Nice. Crazy I don't get a trophy for that, by the way. But I don't know. I feel like there's not too much to say about that, because it kind of just, like, I feel like this is a good thing to add in, especially for, like, if you like, it's a good thing to add in just to get a very seamless timeline of how all these things happen. Because without how far spread out all these games are, and especially, again, without any modern way to play Resident Evil 1, most people haven't played it. Despite the fact that I think it is basically a masterpiece of a game, most people have not played it because most people do not like that style of game. Again, that like the main reason I think that a Resident Evil 1 remake should be made isn't because I think that the old game is bad or that it needs to be updated at all. I think it needs to be made to be more cohesive with current modern Resident Evil, essentially. Because it is very weird if you want the full, complete story of everything going on, that you have to go back to a game from, I think, like, again, like 2004, 2005, something like that, in a completely different style, with completely different, like, visuals and, like, presentation and everything, gameplay, like, the whole shebang. It does not flow very well. Again, to me, I don't necessarily mind it because I do enjoy Resident Evil 1 a lot. It's a really good game. I think, though, again, but even to me, I'm like, I love this game. It's really good. I will take another remake of it. Again, I don't think it necessarily needs it, but I think Resident Evil as the franchise needs it to, again, give this context, a lot of the context that was in here, to the modern audience. Because, again, most of the modern audience, no matter how much they love these games, they're going to look back at the old one and go, I really want to try it, but I don't really like this kind of game. I don't like the tank controls. I don't like the fixed camera angles. Because, again, it'd kind of be like, I don't know, like if, like, let's say you're playing the new God of War series. Let's say the first God of War was, like, exactly how it was, and then the next God of War was a turn-based RPG. Even if it's a really, really, really good turn-based RPG, that's not really what, like that fandom is coming to God of War for, essentially, you know? Like, granted, if it's, you know, like, maybe if it's, like, a Legend of Zelda type game, where, like, every incarnation, like, every version of, like, each game is, like, its own, like, different story, essentially. Like, it's a connected story, but there's not really, like, sequels to each other, that kind of thing. You could kind of get away with it, in my opinion. But if it's, like, directly after one another, and you need context from previous games to understand the full picture of modern games, like, Resident Evil 1, like, not having that in the modern game idea, I think is messing up a lot of people. I think it's messing with a lot of people who don't understand Jill, Chris. Like, if you've only played modern Resident Evil, your perception of Chris is that he's the dumbest character, the worst character in the entire franchise, essentially, I feel. You don't understand Jill at all. I mean, you understand Jill a decent bit from, like, 3 and everything, because she still has a full game. But you don't understand, like, all her backstory, how traumatized she is, what all these people who died mean to her, what her connections to Umbrella truly is. Everything that she's been through. You don't understand Oswald Spencer as well. You see a lot of his characterization through the notes left behind in that mansion by other people and how they talk about him, through the actions taken there, by the things he has there. You don't understand Wesker as well. I mean, I still don't even fully understand Wesker because I haven't finished that game. Like, there's so much context that would be so stupidly beneficial to modern Resident Evil. But again, people are going to look back and be like, I really don't want to play a completely different kind of game to get that lore, essentially. Like, I guess I'll just go look up somebody's video about it. So I think to make the franchise itself more cohesive, that franchise is necessary. Again, the game itself does not need it. The franchise needs it, I think. That is my opinion. But yeah, so I feel like that's, again, a really good way to, like, kind of streamline the timeline for those who don't know. And even, like, it is. Even for those who do know, this is a very good way of, like, putting it all in, like, a straight line, essentially. Again, the only thing left out is, like, the connections made in Village, essentially. That's really the only things left out of the timeline, essentially. So, which is an interesting little thing left out. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, with all that being said, I'm going to see all you beautiful people in whatever we do next. So, bye-bye, because I really don't know how I'm uploading this. I really don't know if I'm going to upload this as soon as possible, like this series, or if I'm going to wait until summer. I feel like that's way too long, and I'm way too excited. I want to get this game out there. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'll think about it. Regardless of how I do this, I'll see all you beautiful people in whatever we do next. So, until then, bye-bye.